So, but we have Carrie joining us to start.
That's
and Carrie is a liberal.
I am still a liberal.
You're still a liberal.
But I voted for Trump. So I'm a bit of a reluctant deplorable is what I like to call it. But
you chose to be a deplorable.
I did after long consideration, 4 years. And actually, Cassandra is one of the people I was watching with curiosity because I voted for Biden in 2016. And you were someone I was watching because I thought, okay, she was also for Bernie. She was also for Bernie. And then she went over to Trump. And it was really confusing for me at first. And my process was just a bit slower. But I eventually got here.
That's
so
awesome.
You consider yourself an SJW. Right?
I was for about 20 years.
Wow.
Yeah. So part of the reason I voted for Trump is because I came to the realization that my ideology was not liberalism. I thought it was. I thought I was a liberal, but I actually was pushing racism and sexism in the name of ending those things. And my old belief system has pretty much taken over the whole party. So when I look at the candidates, I think Trump is the most liberal option. He's against critical race theory. He's against collectivism. He's against all the things that I used to push with good intention that I now think are corrupting and evil. So,
yep. Yeah. I think it's funny that liberals are right-wing now.
Look, I know a lot of people, and I know because of the nature of what I do now, I'm more likely to meet people like myself, like liberals and progressives who have left the Democratic Party. But I really do, my gut tells me that there's a large number of people, that it's not just my little perspective, that there are truly a lot of people who have walked away. I know several progressives who just voted for Trump.
Whoa, really?
Yes.
That's
Secretly?
amazing.
Secretly?
No, a couple of them secretly. And they're texting me and they're saying, I feel kind of gross, but kind of elated.
Yeah. That's a strong mix.
You know what felt really good? When I filled out, I live in New Jersey, so it was a mail-in ballot. And I had to fill in a little dot with a pen. But every little swivel of that pen felt like a big slap in the face F you to the establishment.
Yes.
It was enjoyable.
It really was.
Quite so.
Yeah.
I just realized something. I think, except for maybe Lydia,
Yeah.
everyone here is a Democrat to deplorable.
Yeah, I think so.
Oh, wow.
No?
Yeah.
No? I got a head shake.
No?
Always deplorable.
Okay,
So
good.
it's like
Thank
so it's
you.
probably like
Thank you.
80-20 here.
You're OG deplorable.
Because like you can't
Me
see,
too.
but Jack Murphy is
His lovely
hanging
wife
out.
is here, yeah.
No one
Lovely
can see
woman,
you.
Yeah.
But we got a lot of people like Ian's sitting in the room.
Yeah, we're chilling.
Eventually we're gonna actually I don't know if we're gonna be able to pull the camera out. I want to.
I'd
but-
like to. I don't really want to switch all night, but we'll see.
Yeah,
what
we're gonna
we
get
do.
one camera like in the corner so you can see the
Yeah.
whole room,
We'll see,
and then
we'll
just
see.
have people chill and hang out and stuff.
We're chilling.
But yeah, like not everybody. No. Lauren Chen's here.
That's true,
Brett,
yeah.
Brett also lifelong Republican.
Pretty conservative, yeah.
Andrew just
Awesome.
walked in.
Sweet.
Andrew,
sweet.
did you used to be a liberal? Are you still a liberal?
No, never.
You were never a liberal. Oh, okay.
Cool. All right.
okay, I was
good.
wrong.
Good.
We have
I know. How dare you? We got a how dare you early on. Come on, guys.
drinking with the Trump flag does not seem easy.
No, it's not, but it's
It's a little
worth it.
challenging.
It's worth it.
So I don't know. Actually,
I had
have
to make up for it.
yeah.
we haven't talked about you leaving the left because you did it a long time ago.
Yeah.
Cassandra.
OG, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I left during the primaries.
In
Sorry.
2016.
I think, it was the beginning of 2016. It was before Bernie dropped out, but you could tell that he was going to drop out. And I switched. And
But how? Like why? You were so for Bernie, and then all of a sudden you voted for Trump.
Well, I could see that he was, getting ready to endorse Hillary Clinton, and I thought that it was rigged. And she always struck me as a war pig. She was
Yep.
you
Correct.
know,
Yep.
she was basically John McCain in a lipstick and a dress.
Yeah.
And that was everything that I opposed. And so one day I was hanging out with Noam Chomsky, ironically,
Very
in
cool.
Boston.
Very cool.
And we were talking about free speech and why it's so important. And he's been horrible on Trump, but I took a very different thing away from my conversation with him that day. So we were talking about free speech and war and things like that. And I went back to my hotel room. I went and saw this band Glassjaw play, went back to my hotel, had a few drinks in me, and I was just like, you know what? I'm voting for Trump. And then my drunk butt started tweeting, I'm voting for Trump.
And then you were locked in.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh my gosh.
But were you doing that because you were mad at Hillary?
It was a little bit of both. I mean, Hillary Clinton wanted to drone Julian Assange, and everybody knows that I'm a
Like
very passionate WikiLeaks supporter. So there was that. I disliked her for that reason. I also disliked a lot of the rhetoric that was coming from her about like being tougher on Russia and tougher, with Syria and things like that. So all the things that I used to think were the most important to me and that were leftist ideals, like free speech and being anti-intervention, were now being represented by the other side. So I felt like the Democratic Party kind of left my beliefs, not
Out
Yes.
from under
me
you.
leaving.
Yeah.
It's really funny. Glenn Greenwald tweeted about this recently, something about the Democrats or the progressives who are voting for the Democratic Party who are going to get a swift lesson in what their support is actually worth to them once they no longer need their votes.
Right.
And then the example he used was how the anti-war, like anti-corporatist kind of thing movement dried up as soon as Obama won.
Yeah.
And that was me. That was like when I was, becoming an adult and looking at politics, and I had all these people around me cheering me on, like, yeah, war is bad, right? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, come on, come with us, come vote. And I'm like, yeah. And then I voted, and they're like, later. And I was like, wait, what?
I could
But what about the war?
I could recite Obama's speeches by heart, like the one
Wow.
about like hope and change and stuff. And I was so adamantly anti-Bush because I was
Yeah.
anti-war.
Yeah.
I mean, I had shirts, like anti-Bush shirts that would get me visits from feds if I tweeted
Oh,
out
snap.
pictures of them. But then I was like, okay, great. Yeah, Obama, let's do it. And then within a year, he's like worse than Bush almost.
Yeah.
And all the people who protested at Bush with me were like, yeah, this guy's great.
I was one of those people.
Yeah.
I quit paying attention because I hated W so much. I was like you.
Yeah.
I joined a running club in Los Angeles called Run Against Bush, and all we did was run off our angst and our anger
Nice.
with anti-Bush shirts.
Nice.
But I paid attention. I paid attention to the way that CNN was selling us the war, and I was more awake. And then as soon as Obama got in, I voted for him twice. I was one of those people who quit paying attention.
Yeah.
So the second time?
And the second time I voted for him as well.
Yeah.
I just basically was like, okay, there's somebody driving who I like, and then I checked out. And I know a ton of people like me who did
Yeah.
that.
I did not. I was
Wait, hold
screeching
on.
about the Drone Ranger
Donald Trump
for
has
years.
Donald Trump has a popular vote lead right now.
He does
Not
indeed.
not that it matters.
He does.
But he
It's fun,
does.
though.
By
Look at this
by
nonsense.
0.2% of the total votes
Yeah,
counted so far.
boy.
It's meaningless.
I don't care.
They got to count urban centers and everything. I just think
excited.
it's funny to be like, wow, he's down. He's down 30 electoral votes.
Oh,
Joe
for
Biden's
Pete's
at
sake.
85 to Trump's 55.
Ugh.
But Trump has a small lead of 0.4% lead in popular vote count. Isn't that interesting?
It is interesting.
So Carrie, what did you do in 2016?
I was one of those people who cried the night
Oh,
that he won. Yeah, I was wondering if I would cry tonight for different reasons, but I actually, I don't really.
Could you imagine being wrong twice?
I know, right?
Yes, I came over here to win.
Exactly.
I heard there's winning.
I heard there was winning.
No, I sort of am. I think what we're facing is a cultural problem. It's like a philosophy problem. And so I sort of don't know if it's going to matter that much who wins. I hope that Trump wins. I think he will slow it down. But ultimately, I think even if Trump wins, we're going to wake up tomorrow and we're still going to be fighting this belief system that says that is taking us backwards. That says the way to cure the world's ills is by putting us all in groups, is with collectivism instead of individualism.
I think it's remarkable that you could simply ask any one of these people, the average person, do you agree with Dr. King's dream? And they'll tell you yes. And then if you ask them about the current state of progressive activism and leftism, they'll agree with that too, which you can't do.
You can't do.
Right. They're literally the opposites of each other.
Yeah.
So progressives, like the hardcore activist progressives I know, straight up tell me, no, I don't. They don't agree with them. And I'm like, you don't believe that we should? And they're like, no, absolutely not. And
They
I'm like,
say
oh,
it didn't
okay.
work.
Right.
Yeah. They
There
say
was-
it's time for something else.
There was something really interesting that I remember seeing. I don't know if you saw this. Someone wrote a letter during the Black Lives Matter protests, like in 2014 or whatever, saying that they believed it was one of the Black Lives Matter activists. They said that ending segregation, and this is according to their letter, put black people in the same competitive field with white people, even though they were at a massive disadvantage, creating a historical disparity that they could never overcome. Whereas, according to this letter, when they were separated, they had Black Wall Street and they had their own economy and their own system that was working. So that was Black Lives Matter back in 2014 calling for an end to our current status quo on, civil rights and segregation and stuff.
Yeah.
They wanted it back.
Well, they've been calling for segregation nonstop. I mean, they're calling for black student centers in colleges. They're calling for blacks only spaces. They're calling for a segregation, essentially.
Yeah.
And there-
100%,
There's no way
yeah.
around it. I mean, that's what it is.
It's frustrating to me.
Yep. I don't want it.
You don't want
And I can't believe that, like, when I talk to some of my good friends, they're like, you don't understand, it's good. And I was like, it's not good for me. I was like, it's remarkable. Upper class white progressives acting like they know what any minority is thinking or what's good for any, non-white person or whatever. I'm like, I don't want to live in your creepy world where I have to like check a box and pick a race. Is it my dad or my mom today? I got to figure that one out.
Right.
Screw off. That's apparently the world they want, though. Thanks for checking out this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. We do the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. So come back to check us out when we go live. Don't forget to subscribe, hit the like button, hit the notification bell, and we are also available on all podcast platforms for free if you want to listen to us there. Thanks for hanging out, and we will see you all next time.